Hello. It's the spooky season, so I thought it was right about time that I cast my frightful gaze onto the newest faction for the whimsical wargame of Moonstone. And then I'm going to give away a copy of the brand new 2-player starter set and many more Moonstone goodies. The Shades are an assortment of eternally unusual, often hilarious and suitably frightening undead spirits, creatures and familiars. Together, they are the latest troupe of colourful characters to join the brilliant Moonstone game, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about their story, their miniatures, and their monsters. I'm Jordan, this is Jordan Sorcery, and today we're getting spooked by the Shades of Moonreach. For 2 centuries, the kingdom of Moonreach was ruled with an iron hand by the unnatural King Chernit, prolonging his own life and those of his loyal, braying and sycophantic followers through the use of dark magics. Chernit ensured that generations of his people lived under a regime of bloody cruelty. Thanks only to the explosive intervention of the Solstice gnomes did this era of darkness come to an end. But Chernit and his twisted court were not defeated forever. Since that time, many centuries hence, these shades have revelled in the land of the dead, becoming even more twisted in both form and mind. By the mistaken ritual of the wizards of Elrich, the shades of Moonreach have been loosed on our peaceful homeland. Will they turn Tauber into a living land of the dead, or can they be stopped before it is too late? Moonstone is an awesome game. I loved it so much I made a video overview of it just a little while ago. And given the twin facts that it's almost Halloween and the newest faction for the game are a bunch of very wonderfully whimsical, woefully worrisome ghosts, I felt compelled to reach out to the makers of Moonstone to see if they would be interested in some kind of collaboration. And they were definitely up for it. They delivered in spades. They gave me a copy of the brand new 2-player starter box, which includes the new Shades faction, and a load of other boxes of miniatures, and some super exclusive rarities from the Kickstarter to give away. And I'm going to do that at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. It's very, very simple, and there's lots of awesome stuff to win. But before that, I'm going to talk a little bit about who exactly these shades are and why I think I have fallen in love with them. We're going to start by taking a quick look at what exactly Moonstone is for anybody who's not familiar with it. Moonstone is a 28mm skirmish game set in the fantasy world of Tauber. Inspired by the likes of Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal, with some hints of classic Warhammer and Magic the Gathering in there too, the game plays quickly, using D4 to represent the precious Moonstone that everyone is fighting over, and card draws to resolve combat and magic use. The miniatures are utterly brilliant, just dripping with humour and character, and the factions include mixed troops of humans, gnomes, giants, goblins, pirates, pirate goblins, fauns, fae, and some individuals that are altogether more difficult to categorise. Originally launched via Kickstarter in 2018, the game has only grown and expanded since. It has been a huge success, and it just keeps getting better. There are 3 main factions in the game: the Commonwealth, the Dominion, and the Leshervolt. And although all 3 feature different combinations of humans and fauns and fae and goblins, there is a very clear ideological and aesthetic distinction between those forces. But with this new faction that was just launched by Kickstarter, the Shades, things have changed completely. Unlike those other 3, this is a discrete set of ethereal entities. These are spirits, these are the undead. They have returned from the land of the dead, and they have come to get some kind of revenge or for some purpose of their own. They want the Moonstone because they've got some sort of plan, and it probably isn't going to be good for anybody because these guys are real creepsters. These are the creatures and the spirits and the ghosts that have escaped from the land of the dead. They were inadvertently resurrected by the misadventures of the wizards of Elrich. They were not trying to do this, but they've inadvertently resurrected the king of the Shades, and he has brought back with him his loyal, twisted followers and all sorts of weird and wonderful, creepy guys who live in the land of the dead. And I was obviously hearing this story. It sounds fun. It's a great way to introduce a new faction to this whimsical world. But because of the nature of that world, Torba from the original Moonstone games and from the expansions is a whimsical, fun place. It really does feel like it's the goblins of Brian Froud, and it's the worlds of Labyrinth and Dark Crystal, and the sort of the fun kind of folkloric sort of setting that you're fighting in. It's at peace for the most part. It's only the Moonstones that cause any kind of friction. And how are you going to introduce the undead? You know, how do you put the ghosts and the spirits and the monsters into a game like that without upsetting that really fun vibe? And I think they have found a way. As well as keeping that sort of folkloric inspiration, there's also a lot of stuff here drawing on plenty of sort of cinematic influences and artistic influences. I definitely think there is a good amount of Tim Burton at play here, and Henry Selick's A Nightmare Before Christmas, Beetlejuice, all of that kind of stuff is flowing into the Shades and creating some very fun Ghostbusters-style monsters with which to have a great and exciting new faction who add so much to the world of Torba and add so much to the game of Moonstone. So let's take a look at some of them. The evil King Churnet has been resurrected, and with him he has brought his loyal and inarguably twisted followers like the Never-Ending Knights, a donkey-headed cleric called Greymare, a risen noble called Negroli, and a skeleton crossbowman called Seraph. But alongside such rotted muscle, there are beings of far greater malevolent mind as well. The Shady Bunch includes Senara of the Merfolk, the sinister fawn Morag, and the haunting spirit Marley. And to make matters worse, these followers of Churnet have followers of their own, the psychopomps. Psychopomps are strange spiritual beings that tend to the needs of the dead, providing entertainment, aid, and solace. They take a variety of forms, dependent on what the spirit needs. Churnet's pulling of the Shades from the Deadlands comes with an unexpected side effect, as the Pomps get caught in the tide of magic. Utterly out of place, some run riot, reveling in the chaos of their newfound freedom. The Psychopomps are my absolute favourites. If you're familiar with Rogue Hobbies and with Louise Sugden, she likes to talk about the lil guys of Warhammer, the sort of cute and weird little creatures and familiars and all that sort of stuff. And I think that is exactly what these are. These are creepy, spooky little guys for Moonstone who are just, they are bursting with humour and character and fun. And I really, really like them. And just wait until you see them, because I think you will agree. Released in a set called The Charge of the Fright Brigade, the Pomps so far include the wonderful, brave Sir Pidge, the appropriately terrifying Tea Cake of Torment, and the terrible musician. And then there is the best of all, Jeremy, Lord of the Deep. I cannot get over this guy, just outstanding. It's the Pomps that I love the most, but there are other amazing sculpts in the Shade range as well, like the towering Angerboda, who comes in the starter set, the creepy Abracadaverous, and the double-arsed spirit Jerry Hare, who both come in the freaky Fug Day set. As a final note, the Shades pose a risk to all, so I hope that petty differences can be ignored so we may address this urgent matter. At best, Churnet will subjugate the whole of Tauber. At worst, he will kill us all and bring us back as Shades he can control. Warn the people so that they can prepare and protect themselves before it's too late. So, the Shades of Moonreach have arrived in Moonstone, a brand new faction full of amazing miniatures. They are creepy when they need to be, they're cute and they're fun and they're funny when they need to be, and they absolutely capture that brand new aspect that we haven't seen before in Moonstone. These are proper weirdos, basically, and they have that really fun monster, this sort of 80s bad guy movie monster stuff is all over this faction. They're fantastic for that. And the miniatures are just gorgeous. And as I say, I have actually got a load of the Shades to give away. So heed my words. Goblin King Games have very kindly given me a copy of the new Moonstone 2-player starter set, Life and Death Struggle, which includes the Never-Ending Nights and the Giantess Angerboda for the Shades, as well as a full force of Fae, Fauns, and Giant Jackalope. I also have a set of the Freaky Fug Day miniatures, the Charge of the Fright Brigade with its incredible Jeremy Lord of the Deep, and the Shady Bunch featuring Marley the Ghost, plus a copy of the limited edition background booklet, The Doomsday Report, and 2 amazing alternative sculpts, one for the Elrich Wizard, Espex, and one for the Merfolk Spirit, Senara. It has to be said, these are absolutely gorgeous. So, how do you win all of that shady goodness? Well, it's totally free and it couldn't be that much simpler. You just have to follow the link in the description below to my Patreon. There you will find a very easy question which you can answer in the comments, and then I will randomly draw a correct answer to win everything. You have to become a member of my Patreon in order to view the question, but there's no cost involved. There's a free tier, so you can join at that level if you want, and you can then enter the competition. On October 31st at midday UK time, I will be drawing a random winner from the actual correct answers, and then I will announce the winner via the Patreon and here on YouTube via a community post, and I'll get in touch with the winner to send them their prizes. Honestly, the question is super easy and it is totally free. It's a great chance to win all of this awesome Shade stuff. Why not give it a look? I want to thank Goblin King Games once again for providing all of those amazing prizes and for making such an amazing game. I want to thank you for watching. I'm Jordan, and this is Jordan Sorcery. I wonder if I could steam this open and then just remove Jeremy Lord of the Deep, seal it, and then no one would know. For that fish, it might be worth trying.